finding this kind of interesting this morning. It's like all the trees have like, it must be ice on them, or because there was a whole lot of melting going on. It's been warm, but today's pretty cold. It's starting out in the 20s, and it's just weird because it's not every day you see all the trees looking like they're iced over. Hey everybody, Yogi here. Doing well? Hope you're doing well. A little bit of a health update, I guess. Start this one off. For the longest time, I and my wife thought I had sleep apnea. So I went to the doctor and had my physical in December, and everything's fine. But I told them about the sleep apnea, the possibility, as far as not sleeping, not feeling refreshed in the morning, not feeling like I slept well. So I ended up having a home test. I took this device home, and that was on actually New Year's Eve weekend. I took this device home and had the tubes in my nose and had this thing I had to strap around my body and put an oximeter on. And so for 2 nights I did that, and the results came back severe sleep apnea. They told me that my breathing had stopped between 6 to 10 times per hour, which is a very sobering thing to hear. So they said, we'd like you to come in and do a overnight study at the hospital where you're hooked up to more things. So I was like, okay. So at the end of January I did that, and it was weird because as I mentioned, I have anxiety issues and panic attacks, and so that's kind of out of my comfort zone to be going to the hospital to sleep overnight. So my anxiety had already been up thinking about that all day long. And then I get there and they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna have a CPAP machine on, by the way. And I'm like, oh, thanks for letting me know in advance. So I get there and they put the mask over my face. They got all these electrodes all over my body, and now I'm supposed to try to to fall asleep. Actually, my anxiety was not bad at all. After that, I just kind of accepted it, and I was just like, look, you're here for a reason. Don't look at it as, you're in the hospital, something is wrong. You're in the hospital, you're having a test done. So I actually must have slept pretty good that night, because I usually get up to go to the bathroom a couple times a night, and that night I didn't, which was surprising. So there's this speaker that's behind the bed that you communicate with the person that's there watching over the testing, and all of a sudden she's like, good morning. And when you hear something like that after sleeping, you're kind of out of it. You don't know what's going on, you're kind of groggy. So I hear that and I'm kind of like, whoa, what? I'm thinking, what? So she's like, your sleep study's over. It's 5:50 in the morning. You could get ready and head out, which I did. Went home for a little bit, and I went to work. Then I got the call a day or two later saying that, yeah, you have sleep apnea. We're going to hook you up with a CPAP machine, and somebody's going to call you and talk to you about that. So then somebody called me and talked to me about the CPAP machine, and they said they're going to set me up with an appointment to get the CPAP machine and a quick tutorial of how to use it. I haven't heard anything since, so I don't know if there's an issue with insurance or what the deal is. If they're backlogged or back ordered, but as of right now, that's where I'm at with that. I'm currently waiting to get a CPAP machine, and hopefully my sleep will be better. That's where we are with that. So there's a song that is going through my head. There's actually 2 songs that are going through my head right now. One is a Beach Boys song called Sail On Sailor. I love that song. It's probably one of my favorite Beach Boys songs. And the funny thing about that song is It's not sung by any of the Wilson brothers. It's sung by a gentleman called Blondie Chapman. And it's a great song. I love that song. Sail on, Sailor. And then we came across this on YouTube. 10cc, I'm Not in Love. We first heard it on a podcast, not a podcast, but a YouTube channel that I watch called The Professor of Rock, Adam Reeder. And he was doing a deep dive into that song. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Not in Love. I haven't heard that song in, such a long time. And I always thought it was really corny. Because they got, like, these voices and stuff. But after listening to his presentation of the song, I'm like, wow, they really put a lot of work into that song. So I ended up looking for, a version of it, and I found one from 2011. It was a concert version, and it was really, really good concert version of that song. So I don't know, I guess I've kind of find a new appreciation for that song. And I thought it was, like I said, a band like 10cc back in the day, I would have thought it was really corny growing up. The things we do for love, the things we do for love. That song, and I'm not in love, so don't forget it. That song. You kind of think back in the day, okay, well, it's 70s. I grew up in the 80s. I was a metalhead, and I used to laugh at songs like that. But now that I'm older, I seem to have more of an appreciation for those types of songs. I'm not in love, no, it's because yeah, not a bad song, a little on the corny side, but it was the 70s, man. This is the Teresa Marsh Mint Farm Flowage. You can see really, really far. It's really kind of cool. On a clear day, you could see a lot better than this. But if you could tell, everything's frosted over. All those bushes and everything's frosted over because of the cold weather. We're supposed to be getting into the 50s this week. That's kind of cool. Teresa Marsh WA Mint Farm Flowage. This wetland project is a cooperative effort between Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources and Ducks Unlimited Incorporated. All right, well, I'm going to drive down this one-lane road ahead. Wildlife Refuge. I don't know, maybe it's a home? Didn't say anything about a private residence. I'm really looking forward to the end of winter. It's really not been that bad of a winter. We just had those couple of snowstorms that came one after another after another. Other than that, I mean, we had a little bit of Arctic air, but again, not much. I found this little beautiful abandoned property. It does have private property, no trespassing. It is abandoned, but it is pretty cool looking nonetheless. Very neat.